Yeah, I'm ballin' in this bitch. Yeah. Money stay callin' in this bitch. We ain't worry about nothing, we celebratin'.
You back in this beat. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. What's up?
What's up?
Holy shit, I love that fire, dude. As always, guys, this is PulseNation, tuned in with ATX Crypto, myself, and my man Westcott Crypto. We have a special guest with us today right here, one of the OGs of OGs. And you'd want to talk about someone who has learned how to make it in the world of crypto. I cannot wait to have this guest on. Guys, let's all give a warm round of applause for our man, Balliet Bran. What's going on, my friend?
Hey,
what's good, guys?
Let's go.
What's up,
dude.
man?
Absolute banger, man. So amazing seeing you again, dude. You are one of the first people I started watching whenever I got into the Hex community.
Same here.
Yeah.
So,
well, no, it's awesome because I mean, what you guys are doing too is awesome as well. I mean, the duo and the collaboration streams that you guys are doing. I saw you had like a kind of like a New York stream. You had Wales only. You had a handful of other people. You know, Westcott, obviously. Yeah, the Crypto Wonder podcast is who I was referring to. Him as well. I mean,
yeah,
it's really cool. You know, we got a lot of people educating the whole community, and you know, we're all kind of waiting for PulseChain. But in the meantime, let's educate ourselves and kind of, you know, get up to speed with the game.
Educate is by far the best thing you can do in this crazy world, guys. You know the ups, the downs, the swings, the ebbs, the flows. Yep. If you ain't educating, then you're just going to lose in this wild world of crypto because it is a wild, wild west for a lot of folks. Right. So you actually began starting off streaming and you got a lot of collabs going in the very beginning. You were introduced every individual for the longest time, anyone new to the scene. And welcome in with open arms. So thank you for all that you did and all that you still do, as a matter of fact. I know you're in the background now, but just because other people have picked up the streaming service, you're doing that. So shout out to you, Balliet, man.
Yeah, no. I mean, once again, I appreciate you guys too, because you know, sometimes it can kind of get you know, a little mentally draining, and especially when we were kind of waiting for PulseChain for like 2 years, you know. Now it seems like it's, you know, around the corner, and it might actually be that 2 more weeks and things like that. But
about time.
Well, so let me ask you this. So let me ask you this, man. You were around when Hex first launched. You were around before Hex first launched.
Yeah.
So what was that like, and what is it like now? Because back then the motto was 4 more weeks, as you know.
Yeah.
It was always 4 more weeks. And so yeah.
Sure. So I mean, I think it was Tendies who was saying it the other day, or someone in one of the groups. But you know, with Hex is a little bit different because with PulseChain, you know, we've already seen what Hex did, and then we already sacrificed. You know, so you got people that maybe sacrificed too much. They kind of thought I mean, I think we all thought that PulseChain was going to launch sooner than it has, right?
Facts.
But I mean,
facts.
Yeah, right. But as far as Hex goes, I mean, the community was very similar, except it was a little easier to keep up with, just because it was kind of a little bit more tight knit. And now, man, you got everyone and their brother and sister on Twitter and Telegram that are supporting Hex, PulseX. And, you know, it's really cool, the magnitude that we've grown to in size. As far as how it's different, I would say the community is significantly bigger, you know. But as far as some of the things that are the same is, I really like that the community is like, this is all kind of grassroots, and you got a lot of people that have similar ideals to Richard that have seen a lot of his streams, right? You know. And then the other recommendation that I want to give for people that maybe are sitting on their thumbs in the bear market, watch streams like this. But then also, if you haven't seen Richard's previous streams, I mean, I would go back and watch those. I mean, because I've watched, you know, thousands of hours of his previous streams, and even recently, you'll find out little tidbits here and there that Richard's just so full of knowledge. You know, sometimes you can go back to old streams, even one of them, it was Richard and like the Martini guy that I was watching from like a year and a half ago, from like June 2021.
Right.
And Richard's just always dropping knowledge bombs. So but yeah, I mean, the community's definitely changed and it's grown, and I love to see it. I mean, we got people. I used to see we got SJ in the chat, but we got Westcott doing the music thing, and like it's just really cool, man. Like I remember, you'd have someone that was kind of into music, and they're like, hey, I'm into music, maybe let me do like a hex song. And then now we got so many people that share that kind of interest, whether it's music or other things, and they're just showing their true talents, and they're trying to contribute. They are contributing, right, as much as possible. Right. And I see it, man. It's cool. We got a huge variety of people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Dude.
So, bro, tell me what it was like to hit it big, bro. How much did your life change when that $1 million came?
Yeah. Oh man, it's I mean, I know Maddie's talked about the whole sudden wealth syndrome thing, where it's like in the beginning, man, dude, in the beginning, like I didn't really know much about and when I say the beginning, I'm referring to maybe like, I don't know, like the first 3 to 6 months. It's like I was about to give up in crypto before I had gotten into Hex, like, because I'd followed Richard. He had called the top in 2017. Yep. And then some of the other cryptos that I was in before Richard created Hex, not that they rug pulled, but so Litecoin, for example, they had promised like confidential transactions, some of these different things that kind of hyped up the coin. And then when the founder kind of like rug pulled and like didn't do what he said he was going to do, I kind of lost a lot of faith in crypto. But Richard was always someone I followed because I always kind of related to him and just like with you guys, kind of like a no BS attitude. And so the point is when I started following Richard, I remember him just saying like, hey, the best way that you can maximize this system, like the best way that you can get future, the most future gains is to stake as long as possible and to stake as big as possible. And that was before big payday. That was on day 351, like an incentivization to stake past big payday. There was a whole bunch of things, but yeah, to be honest, in the beginning, I didn't really know a whole bunch about the T shares and things like this. And and I look back in hindsight, like I got some stakes from day 2, day 3, etc. from the very beginning that are my biggest stakes yet. And they're my longest stakes too. And so I'm super glad that even though I didn't really know what I was doing per se, I kind of just took Richard's advice and just staked it long and staked it strong. And now it's like, dude, these stakes are huge, But so to answer Westcott's question, I mean, it's cool, man. It's changed my life, my girlfriend's life, like all of my family. It's pretty awesome, like it's super rare that at such a young age you can have, financial success and financial freedom and stuff. And now it's like, okay, well, you got the money handled. Like now you got to get the health in control, manage your time properly, things like this. And try not to, neglect anything. So, everything's always a work in progress. I mean, like Ben's saying, I kind of fell off the rails health-wise for like a year and a half, kind of into some of that stuff. So been getting back into it for the past few months. And, while we're waiting for PulseChain, it's like, yo, get those good habits now, because I tell you what, man, when you start seeing, those X's in the net worth and the value and stuff, it can be easy to be like, because for me, like I was like, man, I'm celebrating every single day, like shit, look at this staker app, this number is like 10K more than it was yesterday and all this stuff. And I was finding excuses to celebrate and kind of do some degenerate stuff.
So was it all staked, or like did you have some liquid? Was it hard to not sell? Sure. Like, was it like you held throughout the whole uprising, or did you take profits along the way?
Yeah, so I definitely took profits along the way. And I mean, even still, if I like, I mean, obviously I wouldn't show, but if I look at my staker app, like I got 10%, it's about 10%. It's like 91% staked, and then like, 9.5 to 10% liquid. And, and I always think that that's super important for people, because I know in the beginning, and, God bless people like Kareem and stuff, but so you can maximize Cuatro Cincos and things like that, right? But man, when that FOMO happens and that market cycle happens, if all you have is like super long stakes, you're like, fuck, dude, I feel like I'm missing out. Like I feel like I'm missing out on the party when you see people that are hex flexing, or people that are taking some profits that have been there since the beginning too. And you you're sitting on your thumbs wishing that maybe you had some liquid, or maybe you had some shorter stakes. So that's where the ladder is super important. And yeah, so to answer your question, yeah, I had about, I mean, I've had some liquid the whole time, and kind of just take profit from here and there. I know in the beginning, maybe like the first, I don't know, man, maybe it was like the first like 10 or 20x. I'd never seen a crypto kind of pump that hard that quick. And I was like, man, if this does the same thing that, like, kind of just trying to learn from my past experience, like with Litecoin, it's like, okay, this pumped, Hex had pumped up, 10 to 20x at the time. I was like, okay, let me just pull out my principal, because that way, if it does rug like Litecoin did in 2017, I don't feel so bad holding on to the bag, because I at least took out my initial investment. So yeah, there were several times where, I'd taken some profit, and, and even lately too, I mean, I kind of just, sell as you need to, but not in like one giant lump sum. It's kind of just, when things become handy, but there's ways to do it where, you're not market selling on the price. You can kind of, if the thing that I'd recommend to people is, like, if you know that you want to take profit at a certain price, like, kind of set that up, a week in advance, 3 days in advance. That way, if you're doing limit orders, you can get those filled, versus trying to sell, say if you're like trying to sell today and then you just do a market sell, maybe kind of plan to take some of your profit, like, give yourself a few more days so those limit orders can fill, if you're doing it that way.
Definitely.
Absolutely. God dang, dude. It is so good hearing that.
Hey, shout out to chat real quick. I just want to shout out. We got 73 people in here, and I need everybody to stop what you're doing. Get on Twitter, share the stream out, get this pumping, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Stop playing. We're not here to play. All right, let me get back to my man Balliet, man. So let me ask you, man, when did you find Richard? Was it crypto Richard, or was it self-help Richard? And how did you find him?
So it was kind of like self-help Richard, but it was kind of both. So I got into crypto early 2017. I know it was before March. I think it was like February, March area. So what happened is the job that I was working at, one of my coworkers, Leon, he had owned a previous like precious metal store. And so he, cause I've always been very curious since I was a young kid of, like, just seeing growing up sometimes. Like, I've got 3 older brothers. My parents had 4 boys. And seeing them struggle financially sometimes was like, dude, first off, if I ever have kids, I want to make sure they're not in the same position. But then also, I want to learn this money thing in this investment game, because, I just don't want to go without, like I had in the past, growing up and stuff. And so the point is I was into precious metals, like gold and silver, things like that. And then that was kind of like my first like investment, and, holding and things like this. And then reddit.com was a website that I've been, a long time lurker and user as well, under Balliet, Bran, and another account as well, that when I was in, like, it was like reddit.com/silver or something like that, /r/silver. Someone had mentioned the comment that, like, okay, gold and silver are cool, but then you got like a digital equivalent or a digital similarity, which is like Bitcoin's kind of like the digital gold, and silver, Litecoin's kind of like the digital silver. And so long story short, so that was early 2017. And then really early on, I had found out Richard Hart, and I think it was from his Bitcoin maxi talk. But then I had also seen some of his self-help videos of like how to give a better apology. The thing that I've always agreed with too, that Americans don't really understand, is the politics in America is like one side or the other. It's binary. It's like left or right, or red versus blue. And so I really agreed with Richard's his video voting of, treat your politics like your sandwich, where it's have a little bit of nuance, because it's really easy to say, like, I stand on this side versus that side, and be able to share, no similarities with someone. But if you can kind of, articulate what you do share in common, I think it gets through to the person. So long story short, it was his early videos that I'd found. I don't even know what was the first stream I had seen, but some of the self-help videos for sure. And then it was kind of his Bitcoin maxi streams and debates that I really fell in love with Richard, because, he's always been very, I guess you could kind of say humble, like in a way, like when he would stream, you would hear things and it's like, damn, dude, this guy knows a lot. And then you'd kind of hear the stuff like, yeah, I got immense IQ, some of these other things. And so, anyways, I've been in there since the beginning. And then, like I said, I was going to get kind of quit / give up crypto. Cause the bear market was so the top of 2017. So the top was December, it was around Christmas, 2017. And then it was December 2nd, 2019 that Hex launched. But a little bit before then, there was just the bear market and kind of like a lull, where no one had hope, no one had faith for Ethereum and Bitcoin in the future. And that's obviously when the price was the lowest. And then long story short, Richard's like, hey, I want to make my own coin better than Bitcoin. And that's what kind of kept me in the game. I was like, you know what? I've been following these other furus, but Richard has always stayed true. And he's never asked me for money. He's never, because I'd paid for some previous trading courses and stuff.
Right.
And they ended up just, falling out to the wayside.
No.
Yeah. So long story short, put all my money into to Bitcoin for the Hex free claim. And then sold that Bitcoin that I free claimed for Ethereum, and then just proceeded to FOMO into the adoption amplifier. And then
day one.
Yeah. I sent them to the contract address too, which is a big no-no because I didn't really know MetaMask at the time very much. I'd had a Trezor and hardware wallet for the longest time, but I didn't really know smart contracts a whole bunch. So yeah, I'd kind of FOMOed some of my bag into the contract address too. And I messaged Richard because people are like, hey, I got my coins, I'm staking my coins and I'm wondering where my coins are. And he's like, yeah, the Ethereum that you sent to the OA, or not to the OA, but to the contract address, you're never getting that back.
Right.
And so there's a lot of learning experiences too. It's not just the wealth and things like that and the gains. Right. What people don't see is a lot of the losses that I've had, a lot of stupid mistakes too, that you have to make along the way and you have to learn from. Fact. Otherwise, when you do get that wealth, you're going to lose it.
Yes, sir.
Yo, go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the things that caught my attention that you were talking about was one of my favorite streams is how he talked about how the voting system would work or should work. This is a very old Richard Hart video. And instead of just having a two-party system like we go with red versus blue, like you always said, one or the other, he would literally say you would set up a poll system and you would just have people pick the top 5, whoever, and then out of the top 5, you just have them choose down, and then out of that, it's the best of those. So it's not like it was this beautiful system that he had that he said, and it's still around. If y'all want to go check it out, Richard Hart on YouTube, and just type in voting and you'll find out, or democracy. I forget exactly the title. But that was one of the things that really opened my mind to this dude just doesn't care about crypto. He wants to help the world, man. He literally wants to help the world. Right? Exactly. And so yeah, shout out to that. I remember you used to always be in every, I don't know how you did it, by the way. I was always surprised, but you used to be in every live stream. There would be 3 live streams happening at the same time. And this man was in all of active. Bro, I'm not just talking about watching. I mean, active in all of them. I was like, is this dude just watching
Hey, the super chat king. Chat king.
I think people thought Bran was a robot or a little bot for a little bit.
No, it's true, man. I mean, because same thing. I practice what I preach, where this community is definitely something special. I had said that on when Maddie had hosted in March of 2022, this Vegas Hex Awards and things. I had gone up to the stage because they had given me a little award that I actually have in the corner of the room. But yeah, that's the point, man. Is because like I said, I've got 3 older brothers. I'm the youngest, and kind of just having older brothers and hanging out with their friends, I have always just kind of been a little bit more mature for my age and wanted to hang out with, the older people, or the people that kind of, knew what they were doing. And so with the Hexicans, I've never really experienced a community like this, and it's addicting, man. I know I haven't really been streaming as much anymore, but and a lot of times, in some people's chats and streams, sometimes I'll kind of just lurk in the background, and when I'm driving to the gym or just hanging out with the girlfriend or other things, just because I don't want to be super active in the chat, because whole bunch of people tag you, and then
everyone's like Balliet, and everyone's like,
yeah. And then I feel bad if I can't like respond to them, or if I'm like doing something as well, you know. But yeah, I mean, this community is really something special, and it's awesome to see what you guys are doing, and keeping the hype train alive, you know. And it's about to get you know, pretty lit. I mean, we don't know necessarily when PulseChain is going to launch, but fuck, man, we know it's right around the corner. Like that 2 weeks away seems like a possibility.
That's what I'm in the days now, man. I'm telling everyone I'm in days now. Like fuck weeks, I'm in days, fam. Like whether it's 2 days, 10 days, 14, 30 days, like we're fucking, I'm not even talking about weeks, dude. We in days. I'm like with you, man.
So Balliet, man, tell me what it was like to go through this last bear market. Like, what's it like making it big and then watching everything go down? Like, are you DCAing back in as it drops, or are you just kind of hands off and waiting?
Yeah, I mean, so I've made a couple of purchases. The thing that I will say is when you're taking profit, you know, sometimes it is important to, I mean, just depending on your situation, you know, like everyone's situation is a little bit different, but if you're taking profit and you're living off of some of the gains and some of the passive income, you know, maybe sometimes it's important to take more than you think you'll need, because it's interesting how so I guess I've gone through, I would say like probably like two market cycles, because from 2017 to the end of 2019 was kind of like a full market cycle. And then what we've seen with Hex, obviously a full market cycle for the most part too. What I will say is I would try not to associate everything. Like, try not to base your happiness off of what you're seeing on the chart. Because I know sometimes that's really easy for me to do. Like, you wake up and it's like, oh man, the price is XYZ. Like fuck, dude, it just seems like it's just going sideways forever, or sideways and down forever. But it really just depends on kind of what your strategy is and what your mindset is too. Because you know, if you believe in the product and the product itself has product market fit, like we've seen with Hex, you know, not all cryptos are like that. Some cryptos, they did a market cycle and then they just proceeded to go down forever and never come back and never make it back. So but to answer your question, I mean, yeah, the bear market, like I said, you know, I'll be honest, like for some of the bear market, I was kind of just in some degenerate behavior, not necessarily, you know, working out as much and things like that. Degen squad, you know. But you know, so
gotta have a DJ bag, folks.
So I definitely learned from some of the mistakes I've made in the past, but anyways, I would just say kind of when you're going through a bear market, just focus on, you know, if you're dollar cost averaging, focus on that, but then sometimes you gotta step aside from crypto and kind of focus on real life too, you know, and focus on the day-to-day and the important stuff, because you know, especially when crypto's kind of doing its thing, it'll, like with Hex and stuff, it'll make its market cycle again in the future. But if you're kind of just sitting on your thumb all day waiting for the price to go up, and it's, you know, it's going down for another 9 months, then, you know, you need to stay productive and keep productive. Otherwise you can, you know, fall into some bad habits and stuff.
I absolutely love that, man. I absolutely love that exact saying right there. Taking profits is by far some of the best advice that can be given if done the right way. And there is really a good way of doing stuff, guys, because at the same time, let's talk about, I guess you saw the money go up, you saw the money go down. You've seen this cycle several times in Hex alone. It's gone from 70% dips, 90% dips, and I think this was the really first, besides the very beginning launch, 95% dip that Hex has seen in quite some time. So I don't even know. In the very beginning, it dropped too. It was like 97%.
Yeah, sure.
So like, talk about that in the very beginning. Talk about, I guess, handling it through, and something you really, you know, caught my attention on was the emotion, the psychological impact that the price of your wallet has on yourself. And how do you separate that, or how long did it take to kind of realize that you had to separate your mental state from your wealth?
It's been a work in progress, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it's been probably like a year and a half, something like that, you know. Right. You know, it's easy to talk about these things in hindsight when you're out of the degeneracy and out of the bad stuff and whatnot, but when you're in it, anyways, so so yeah, I mean, as far as kind of separating yourself from it, it's yeah, it's an important thing to do, and once again, easier said than done. I mean, I remember first when Maddie was talking, like when Maddie came onto the scene, I was like, nice, dude, we got like a psychologist and stuff, and someone that understands how addictions work and things.
Yep.
And I remember when he had first started talking about like the sudden wealth syndrome term, I'd heard about that from people that had like won lotteries and things like that. But then it's kind of different too when you experience it with crypto, or think the emotions and like the euphoria that you can feel when it's pumping. Like it's unlike any other thing I've experienced before, where that's when you kind of need to remind yourself on like a daily basis of why you're in the game, or what's your kind of thesis and strategy too. Like I know Funding Jim Gary, he's talked about that a lot with things like PulseChain, where it's like, hey, have your investment thesis, and you might not always follow it to a T, but if you can get something down on paper, like, so whatever amount that you put in, or whatever number that you want to start taking profit at, and whatever kind of amount of profit that you want to be realizing, try and get some of that stuff on paper. Because once again, there's the bull market and then there's the bear market, but sometimes when you see the bull market kind of doing its things and you see those green candles one after the next, it can the plans that you had can be thrown to the wayside in a very short matter of time.
Yeah.
So that's all I'd say to that.
Man, well, let me ask you, bro. So how was the girlfriend in the beginning? Did she believe, or like how did things change from when you first started investing in crypto and then after hitting it big?
I also want to follow up and add on that just a smidge.
Oh no.
Did you keep her in the loop during the entire time?
Yes.
Yes, for sure. So let's see. I mean, in like 15 days, it'll be 5 years. The point is, thanks, man. But so the point is like, she's always kind of known that I was in crypto and stuff, but I was never like that outspoken about it per se. Like it's always something that I've been a fan of, and that I've spent a decent amount of time kind of studying and learning. But I don't think for her it really hit until some of those price realizations, or one time I showed her like that's why I set her up with her own separate staker app.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
my stuff. You don't
know.
I had to set that up early because I was like, oh man, once I saw like, because once again with crypto, it was always kind of the asset that I was always kind of looking for. Like I'd said, like with precious metals, it's like, okay, I like this self-custodianship. I like that you can hold your own, silver and gold and things like that. But crypto kind of just took it to a whole different level. Like if you go, I'm going to Switzerland, Italy, and in France this month. It's gonna be. I know it's gonna be cool, but if you have over $10,000 in fiat, it's like if you're traveling with over, say you got like $10,100 or $10,001,
customs.
You're supposed to declare that. And so I've always kind of loved, as far as I mean, even just before crypto and stuff, but and before Richard had heard about like some of the cypherpunks, and kind of like, big fan of self-sovereignty and kind of limited government, and not being, in such a George Orwell, 1984 police state, which is what we kind of live in these days.
Right.
And so I always kind of thought it was cool that you could, not that I would say that I do this, but for other people, you could have like your seed phrase memorized, things like that, or have things where you do cross a country, and I mean, shit, you could have millions of dollars, just in your possession, or, digitally in your head, because you know what your seed phrase is. So,
hey man, so let me ask you this, and I want to see pretzels in the chat. Did the sex get better after you hit it big, or the same? Did she
for sure.
Oh,
for sure.
I bet she did. Hey, shout out to your girl, man. Real talk. All the ladies out there listening.
I mean, with any relationship, you got to keep that fire lit, because I mean that's the cool thing, at least with this relationship, is it's worked out well for me, but yeah, I mean, it's just like with well, it's not like with crypto, but with any relationship, I mean, both parties gotta be interested and willing and continuing to work on it, So grounded in hex, bro. You
yeah,
really
exactly. Yeah, I saw that
no,
too.
it's all good, man. Shit, I'm an open book. I mean,
hey, this PulseNation, we don't play that game over here.
Yeah, we don't fuck around. We get to the real questions.
Listen, man, y'all in it for the tech or not?
Yeah. Yo, shout out to everyone. But yeah, dude, I've learned my lesson. And I hope I've shared my lesson with y'all too, that until that money hits the bank account, man, keep that shit to yourself, friends. Because that stress brings on extra stress for you and them because they aren't in the same game as you. Right. And so even for my wife who's seen true outcomes of what's happened, she still doesn't like when she sees it drop 90%. Okay.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
She's just like, well, I wish you would have pulled out more in that conversation, man. Like, let's just avoid it,
Yo, the chat got me cracking up. Yo, let's take this down.
Parlay 14. Catorce, man. 14, my brother.
Hey, man. Y'all know what to expect when you come on this show. Stop acting surprised, y'all. But anyway.
Yep. No, I tell you what. With Richard, man, shit. Yeah, I've learned, sex tips and stuff like that. Like the guy saying how many pulses. I mean, I remember people don't understand where pulse kind of came from, but I remember when Richard was talking about that, I was the next day, and practicing what he's talking about. It's like, I put in what he's talking into reality. It's like, God damn, this thing works, So benefits both parties for sure.
Hey, Balliet, if you could send me that stream after this, because I don't think I saw it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, dude. Yeah. And that's the thing I always liked about Richard is, I like people that, I mean, there's not many questions that Richard dodges or doesn't answer. I mean, obviously with like the origin address and things like that, there's only so much that Richard can talk on, and he's talked on it ad nauseum for hundreds of hours. But I always thought that was cool too, is talking about, sex tips and things like that. Cause so many people, man, they just get weirded out, or they're just immature, Right. And I always liked that Richard just kept that shit real. And I respect that, that's what I always liked about him. And that's why when he always said like, hey, I'm doing this for the glory. Like, I don't need your effing money. Like, I retired when I was 24. That's where, from what he has said compared to what other Furus that I was following at the time that said similar things, he was the one that actually proved it through his actions. And, once again, not needing the money, where other people, they were saying that they didn't need the money, but then they would sell like a trading course on the side. And so anyways, I had spent like $5,000 on a trading course in 2017, like 2 trading courses. Wow. And I got like nothing out of it, and except except degeneracy and stuff. So anyways, I'll look for it. I know there's hexsearch.io. Okay. And I don't know when Richard first talked about it, but yeah, he talks about counting the amount of pulses, and I think 14 is what he had said he went for. And that's the goal.
so let me ask, man. So what's the most like regretful spend that you've had? Like, did you buy like a Corvette or something? Like, did you do anything that was like, maybe I didn't need to spend all that money?
Dude, honestly, no, man. Like I bought I bought a good amount of guns and ammo and stuff here, which dude, in Washington, man, this state's just becoming like, my girlfriend's Venezuelan, and so she's seeing,
okay.
Hey, Mamacita don't mess around.
You don't know.
Chulo.
Shout out to the Mexicanos. Shout out to them for sure.
Yeah. No, but yeah, so I think to answer the question, I haven't really had any like, big hex flexes or anything like that. Nice. I guess you could just say like retiring was it, being able to live off of the shares and the income that it's producing. But and the thing I will confirm what ATX is saying, where, and I think RG3 has said the same thing too, where it's like, okay, it's all magical internet money until it hits your bank account, or until you buy them a gift and they're like, fuck, man, this gift was, a couple thousand or something like that. Yeah. Then it's real for sure.
Yeah.
And so, but as far as degenerate purchases, I haven't really made any. I mean, it's kind of just been more lifestyle stuff. Like I said, I mean, I don't want to say how much, but yeah, I've got a lot of guns and ammo and stuff like that. And that's always kind of things that I was a fan of before crypto, you know.
Has your girl asked you for anything like expensive, like super uber expensive or anything? Or she's been cool, like she's been smart about the whole thing? Any Louis bags?
She's got some of her own, you know, some of her own Louis bags and stuff, like a Gucci bag and a Louis bag and stuff. But you know, I mean, that's maybe for something like that, for like PulseChain or something like that in the future. But I also think it's important. I also think it's important that like so like her birthday was recently, and obviously not going to say what day, but
happy belated to her.
Right. Yeah, for sure. But like so I was like, hey, you know, the ticket for Switzerland and Italy and stuff like that, like, you know, I'll buy that for you instead of you having to pay it. And I don't know, I mean, that's like $1,500 or something like that, you know. So there's certain things, but the thing I will say to your point is, I mean, with anything, you don't want to set like improper expectations. You know, you don't want to come from like hardworking like myself, like I've always been, to all of a sudden like you're like you're the sugar daddy, you know, and like all of a sudden, you know, you don't because that can really fuck up a relationship too, where it's like, you know, all of a sudden, you know, now like certain leverage games are being played because, you know, so I've always kind of kept it real with her and vice versa. You know, we've kind of had a good communication and stuff there, but you know, some of that stuff's also easier said than done. But that's the thing I wouldn't recommend is the thing I'll say real quick, because once again with the guns and ammo, like sure, that was a big purchase, but that was kind of over time. Is if you are gonna do like say with PulseChain and PulseX, whenever that comes out, hopefully soon, like same thing. I'm kind of thinking in the days as well. Is like if you're gonna make a big purchase or you're thinking about pulling a decent amount of profit, like maybe just sit on that idea and maybe sleep on it for like a couple of days or things like that before you realize it, because sometimes once again in the moment, like the euphoria is like, and like unlike any other, you know, drug that I've experienced or that I've seen with all the dopamine that you're getting, you know, and sometimes whether it's drugs or with the natural euphoria of the chart, you can make irrational decisions, you know, like, oh fuck man, I'm gonna blow 100K on this or 50K on this. And so Chaztown says shout out from Issaquah. Nice dude, shout out in Bellevue. So yeah, that's kind of the point is I've seen some people make some like hex flexes and stuff, and then I've also seen some of those people, like one guy I know bought like a $20,000 Rolex, and then I talked to him recently, so maybe he had the Rolex for like a year and a half, and then I talked to him like just on Sunday, and he sold it, you know. So some of those things you kind of, you know, you gotta kind of weigh in your mind, like, is this worth it, you know? And can you actually afford it, you know? Because maybe you can afford it at the time if you took enough profit and stuff, but you also might get to that point too where it's like, dude, F this $20,000 watch, like I want to put this into some shares, you know, especially at this kind of price. So there's that too.
Yeah, nice. Hey man, shit, you better than me, because if I hit it big, listen, I'm a bad guy. You hear me?
That's the deal, Wes. Yeah, it's just one of them learning moves. Everyone's gonna go through it one way or another, right? You're gonna either go through it with a fun time, having all the fun in the world, which is a great thing. But at the end of the day, you look back and you're like, damn, what do I got to show? Or, you know, you get wise with it. So have fun in the beginning if that's what you want to do. For anyone who wants to go out and ball, like, because it's a thing that they've never had before, go ball, man. Like, go, like, I don't want to say go crazy, but just know that is temporary. That is temporary typically, right? Because you're gonna find those dopamine hits in different things. And so when you start seeing the money go up, it's a pretty fun thing. And that's one thing that a lot of people will start focusing on. So I really try to stress this. Like, if you think you're a person who will be looking at it every fucking 5 minutes, delete the app or whatever the fuck you got to do. Just take it away from your equation. Try and take it away. And you'll see yourself living a happier life, because when you start letting that shit get you emotionally, guys, you're going to go from 5 figures to 6 figures to 7 figures down to multiple 7 figures, 8 figures. Then you go back down. Then you go 6 figures, 5 figures, and you're like, oh shit. And that's typically when you, like Balliet said, emotions come in. You fucking sell. You panic. You do something stupid that'll get yourself in a worse situation than had you just done nothing. So if you just wait a couple days, you start seeing it go back up, and you're like, all right, cool. Whew, I'm glad I didn't sell. But a lot of times people panic. They're like, oh man, let me just take profits now. So
Hey man, we got a lot to look forward to. I'm looking at my man Marco right now. Said cancel buying my dream car, Porsche 911 Turbo for the sacrifice. Best thing ever. Man, you could have got a 911. Yo, look what we got to look forward to. That's the kind of money we looking at, yo. Y'all stay it, yo. This is I can't even talk, bro. It's too much, man. I'm gonna need to. That's why we have these streams, because Balliet, I gotta learn from you. Because I'll be honest, if I didn't find you, Richard, Crypto Coffee, Marco the Hexagon, I'd have been lost out here, bro. Especially if I hit it big, I'd have lost all of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, we're all learning at the same time too. Like I said, with like the sudden wealth syndrome and stuff like that, and even on some of the videos that I've made before, where it's like you're kind of going through it and you're talking about how you can remedy some of it, but some of it's definitely easier said than done. And
so much
and
easier said than done.
yeah, and that's where I'll say, like, Wendy's has mentioned this before, and same thing with Vets and Crypto. How's it going, bro? He's a local Hexagon that I've hung out with a lot of times. I really like him. But I mean, it's important to, and that's why I've always been addicted to the streamers and things like that, because it reminds me of the fellowship and the brothership that I have with my brothers. But yeah, surround yourself with winners, man, and with people. Like I saw some of Westcott with like with Walrus and Funning Jim and Heartbeat and stuff like that. Like those are grade A winners, man. And surround yourself with people on your team now, because I'll tell you what, man, people come out of the woodwork when they find out that you've been doing well, or people that you thought were your friends in the past that actually weren't, because they weren't there for the lows and stuff. But all of a sudden, when they hear you're doing good, they're like, "Oh, hey, Bran, do you want to hang out and stuff?" And all of a sudden, everyone wants a piece of your time.
Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah, exactly, easier said than done.
Yeah, it's true, man. And so for me, I mean, one of my old coworkers, Sean, he would say like no is a complete sentence, and you have to learn sometimes to say no to a lot of opportunities, so you can let those bigger opportunities and those right opportunities come in. Because otherwise, if you're just spending all your time with some of these other things, you're going to miss some of those big opportunities.
Yeah. So how was it? So let's talk about this for a brief second. We just talked about friendship and that kind of journey and how it goes. So typically when you gain this wealth, a lot of the people around you don't also join with you because of one reason or another. You become in a better situation financially, and they stay in the same situation. Now, how long did it take you from that moment to almost break apart from that relationship? Because that's something everyone should go through. Otherwise, what you realize is they are weights dragging you down, and they don't have the same. Now, you can try to bring them up. Don't get me wrong. You can try to attach the airbags and all that to them so that way they come up. But most of the time, they try to drag you down, whether it be discussions or whatever. So how long did it take you? Because I know I've broken apart some friendships that I've had for a very long time due to the fact that I didn't need that in my life anymore, and it wasn't going down the path I was going down. So I guess how long did it take you to start realizing that as well?
Yeah, I would say kind of I quickly realized it, but doesn't mean that I acted on it right away, So like I mentioned, so one of the friends that I had growing up, because my parents were best friends with his parents, and we just happened to hang out a lot. Same thing. He was one of those guys where he kind of came out of the woodwork when Hex was topping and when Hex was doing well, and when I was streaming a lot more consistently.
Nasty.
And I'm like, dude, like, you kind of have to realize where sometimes people they'll say they're your friends, or they'll try and pretend to be their friend, your friend, but like, are they really? And you kind of have to give like my grandpa always says, like, you can't bullshit a bullshitter, like you kind of have to get your bullshit detector, man, like the radar, and really just assess, like, okay, is this relationship like a two-way street, or does this person, do they only message me when they want something from me, or they like this one guy that I'm referring to specifically, he would ask me like a whole bunch of crypto questions, and then when I'd answer them to my best knowledge and stuff, that's all I can do, then he would like try and debate me and stuff, and it's like, dude, like, you asked for my freaking opinion, man. Like, why are you trying to, why are we getting into this stupid argument? You still think Hex is a scam, but then you're wondering like how I retired from it, or why I should convince him to buy it. It's like no, man, like, if you're not convinced, don't get into it, because you're the wrong kind of person. and he was the guy. So we kind of bottomed at like 1.7 or 1.67 recently.
Yeah.
And he had bought, I think so the price was at like 6 cents, and then it went to like 4.5 cents, something like that. He bought it like 4.5 cents, and then when we dropped down to 1.7, I think he sold it like 3 or 4 cents. So the guy sold at a loss. Yeah, and so I'm trying to tell him like
that's not how it works. Yeah, that's not how it works. Yeah. But go ahead, man.
Well, that's just the last thing I'll say real quick is that's where the staking has just been super beneficial for myself and others. Yes. I know Maddie's talked about it where, man, when I see those numbers, like I might have sold, a bigger portion of my bag earlier had, 91% not been staked. So sometimes with those friends, it's easier said than done. And for this guy, I don't know, maybe it was like a couple of weeks or something like that I was going back and forth. And then I just realized like, man, this guy wasn't really a friend when I was growing up, and he'd kind of make fun of me. So fuck that guy, And and so
shout out Balliet for realizing that.
So the last message he sent me, I just like didn't respond. And if he sends another message again in the future, maybe I'll tell him what's up. But it's like, yo, dude, stop wasting my time.
That's it, man.
Good luck.
And that's something I think everyone needs to hear too, guys, because y'all are all. We're about to have the same thing happen. PulseChain, PulseX, y'all are about to see some mad gains that y'all aren't ready for. And that's exciting as fuck. But get ready for exactly what Balliet's saying. Once you reach a certain echelon, you have to level up. Like if you're the most, I told Westcott the same thing as well when we were met in person.
Yeah.
When you realize that you're the richest person in your friend group, you need to level up. Like there's no why you don't want to be the richest person in your friend group. Like, yeah, that's an accolade, sure. Right. Yeah, that's an achievement, sure. But if you want bigger, further future gains and you want future success, wealth generation, that kind of stuff like that for generational wealth, then you got to level up, man. You got to get yourself around people like Gary and Walrus and KG and all these people who have
you guys
showed, Crypto Heartbeat, Compassion, Balliet, Vets in Crypto. Like you got to level up. You know what I mean? Like at some point in time, you just want to elevate that circle of wealth. And what is it the old saying, I think you probably know this already, Balliet, but your net worth is the closest to the closest 7 people in your life.
Sum of this, you're like the sum of your 5 best friends or something like that.
It's something like that. So again, if you realize that you're the most expensive, you're the richest person in your friend group, I think it's just wise to realize that as well. Just go in ahead of time and look at that because everyone's about to see something happen that you've never seen before. And this is going to be an absolute epic time. I'm looking forward to it. I know everyone is looking forward to it. We are talking days at this point in time. But yes, I think when you realize that you have the most money in your friend group, what did they bring in you? Right. And so just take a look at that, start doing some reflecting. I guess would be start doing it now, like mentally prepare yourself now, and just kind of look at your friendship and what do they actually offer? What do they bring? So yeah, your network is your net worth. There you go. That's right there, dude. Exactly it right there, man.
Hey, dude, I'm just saying, I can't wait, bro. I hope I can hold on. It's gonna be a lot, man. It's gonna be a lot. But I'm very excited. I was able to get into PulseX sacrifice, but I still gotta buy into PulseChain, but I'll probably wait maybe 30 days or so after launch, try to catch a dip.
Yeah.
So
well, man. I know that's what happened with Hex, where I mean it's kind of different because Uniswap wasn't really out, like as far as liquidity wise, it wasn't really until like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Right.
So we kind of had the adoption amplifier for like the first 14 days. But yeah, I mean that is smart because so many people think so many people think a lot of things, but they think it's going to go up or go straight down and stuff.
Right.
And yeah, to kind of be able to have that position where it's like you mentioned, you've got some fiat or some capital on the side, and instead of kind of FOMOing into it just because you might have like missed out on like the initial PulseChain sacrifice, like, okay, let me make my plan. Let me be patient. Because the biggest mistakes that I've made, like I mentioned, like sending some coins to the contract address and stuff, that was from total impatience, and that was from total just like hype in my head, where I was like, oh man, like because we had waited about like a year and a half, 2 years for Hex too, and then everyone's FOMOing in at the same time. So I think that's smart, Westcott, to kind of wait on the sideline, and that's awesome too that you got you know, PulseX sacrifice in, dude. Because
thank God.
I mean,
facts out to everyone who got any sacrifice.
Legacy wallets.
Yep. Well, dude, and there's gonna be some mad airdrops. Like, goddamn, dude. Like, I never thought that free money existed until you got like Tornado Cash. Like, goddamn, that was a big airdrop. But then you had Uniswap, you had well, 1inch. I mean, so many different free coins.
Yeah, there's been Hedron now. Like, there's been so many, I guess, and not necessarily. I guess Hedron's not really an airdrop per se, but yeah, there's been several. There's been several that have been able to get out there, and it's free money. Yeah, exactly like you said. And a lot of times, most of the time, you're like, this isn't going to outperform Hex. I'm gonna take that money and put it over here where I can actually get it. So that's what's happened for a lot of the airdrops. And yeah, definitely get ready for all this as well. God dang, dude.
Shout out to everybody in the stream, right? We got over 100 people in here, 125. Nice. I love it. Everybody here, Crypto Wonders here. Beautiful.
Yep.
Crypto
Wonder, what's up, bro?
Crypto Colab.
No, and that's the beautiful thing is the people in the chat. And sometimes that's kind of what I miss about my own streams is and probably soon with the Pulse Chain launch, I want to definitely stream again and stuff. But that's the thing I love
back is on the PulseNation, my boy.
No, dude, I appreciate it. It's sometimes it's nicer to go on someone else's channel and stream because it's like you don't feel like you have to perform as much with you don't feel like, okay, I got to hold down this stream this whole time, you know.
Bruh, it's a lot. And doing the show with ATX is a lot easier than me by myself because I got to watch the comments and click show stuff and hide it. It's like you can't even listen to the person you're talking to.
It's true.
I hear you loud and clear, bro. So it's beautiful.
Oh my goodness. Well, guys, this has been an absolute banger of an episode. Balliet, thank you so much for tuning in, joining. All of you people who are in chat right now, who are watching the replay afterwards, shout out to all you people. Much love. Definitely leave like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff to every single one of these beautiful folks. You can check out Balliet Bran. Of course, all of his links are straight up in the name, like you see, allmylinks.com/Balliet Bran. But he is literally Balliet Bran everywhere, same as Westcott Crypto. You can find myself at Twitter on ATX Crypt or myself at ATX Crypto on YouTube. Do you have anything else for Mr. Balliet real fast, Wes?
Hey man, dude, like I'm really proud of you, man. You did your thing, and I hope to get to your level someday, man. I can't wait to meet you, bro.
Hey, you too, man. I appreciate that, you know, and man, no matter how much success one person's had or hasn't had, like it's the relationships and the friendships and stuff like that. Like I can tell with that's the cool thing about this about Hex is because the savings bonds that my grandpa, he's back there, but the savings bonds that he would give me and my brothers, and I think my parents too, but at least me and my brothers, they were 15-year savings bonds, and so they had to mature, and you actually could cash them in early, but they just wouldn't be. It was like a $25 principal, and then it would mature to $50.
Right.
But my point is like you said, shout out to everyone in the chat. We got Brazology, Pretzels in the chat, everyone in the chat because. You know, you got these people that also believe in the mission, you know, and it's not just like a belief or like a faith either. It's like it's actually doing what we're talking about. So the fact that you have, I mean, man, I remember in the very beginning when like the average total like staked Hex, it was locked for about like 3 years on average.
3 years, yeah, and then it got up to 4 within like
yeah, then it was like 5, and then now it's like I don't even know what it is. But the point is,
we almost at 7 now, boy. Like, let's go.
Yeah,
man.
We got so many people that are on the same page, and that's where we got a group of winners, and you know, and then also too, like with PulseX and Pulse Chain, like that's where it's going to be a little bit different than Hex, because like Hex has the hard time lock, but for Pulse Chain and PulseX, like you got the single-sided staking for PulseX.
Right.
For Pulse Chain, you got like the validating.
Right.
That's where it's going to be a kind of a game of chicken, you know, because I mean, heck, you got people that sacrificed big, but what does their sacrifice matter if they get out on a 10x versus a person that has, you know, say 50% of their bag, but they got out on 100x? You know, they're going to have way more than the person who got out early that had a bigger bag in the beginning.
Let's go. Such good words, man. Well, guys, we're going to wrap up the stream right here. Absolutely love every single one of you beautiful people. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, streaming, joining the participation in the chat.
This was good. I'm gonna rewatch this. This was awesome.
Definitely. We got to have you back on again, man. So
yes.
Maybe after PulseChain launch, maybe we get you back on. Sure. We just had some fun with a little celebration party and all that good stuff. But thank you so much for coming in, man. You were definitely an OG in this ecosystem, and OG as a friend. And can't wait to look forward to see what the future has in store for us, my guy.
Yeah, you too. Last thing I'll say is in the future too. I don't know when, but when I get back into some streaming, it's probably not going to be as consistent as it used to be. But I don't know, maybe once a month or something like that. But awesome. I'd love to have you guys on the channel as well, because you know, that cross promotion stuff. Like that's how, like, because dude, fuck man, I've had my channel for a long ass time. I mean, at least since I was 10 years old, and I'm 26 now. You know, and well, at least since I was 11.
Damn,
yeah.
For you,
well,
man.
hey, I'm a Scorpio like too, man. October 24th. So
you don't know. Hey, go to pretzels in the chat. Real talk. Yeah, man. That's what's up. I'm Halloween, so I'm right by you.
Yep.
Man. It's crazy.
Dude, that's a badass birthday. I love that time of year.
Oh man,
hell yeah.
26 and retired, man. Good for you, dog. That's beautiful.
Straight up, facts on facts, man. Congrats.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here. Much love to every single one of y'all. We'll catch you in the next stream. PulseNation. Guys, tonight, actually, we're going to be, I forgot, hosting a Twitter space if we got time. Yeah, we're hosting a Twitter space tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Sure.
6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, guys, come on, join in. Look out for that coming. And hopefully we got PulseNation at that point. We'll catch y'all in the next one, guys.
All right. Peace.
Yeah, I'm ballin'.